Greetings and welcome to this comprehensive guide to Excel's let function. The let function is a game changer for streamlining calculations and simplifying formulas. Imagine we're organizing a global food festival. We need to calculate the cost. Let's do a search for the let function. And if this is your first time using this particular function, it's always worth reading the description. Essentially, we can create variable names, assign values to them, and then refer to those names as we perform different calculations. And all of this is contained within the same formula. The first variable name, we'll call it portion size. And if we suppose that a small portion is equal to size 1, medium would be size 2, and a large portion would be equal to 3, the second variable, we'll name it ingredient price. And for chicken, we'll set a value of £2.50. And then this is where the magic of the let function comes in. We basically finish the formula with a calculation that uses the defined variables. And we want the portion size multiplied by the ingredient price. As far as portion sizes go, we've created a separate little list over here with their numerical values and another list with ingredients and their prices. We need to name these two ranges, highlight the data rows, click in the name box, give it a name, and press enter on our keyboard. Now, if we're to autofill this formula down, we're going to get the same answer. This is because the portion size value is set to 1 and the ingredient price is set to £2.50, and these have been hard typed into the formula. What we need to do instead is use the let function alongside VLOOKUP to determine the correct values for each ingredient. And whenever we're in a scenario like this, where we need to amend a formula, always go back to the first row. And this time, we'll edit the formula in the formula bar. We can use Alt and Enter to create a new line. We're just making the formula easier to read. Instead of hard typing this value of 1, we want our formula to be a little bit more dynamic. We'll use VLOOKUP. We want VLOOKUP to look for the value that's in this cell here. And where do we want VLOOKUP to look for that value? Inside of our named range called range underscore portion size. And when VLOOKUP finds a match, we want the value to come from column number 2, and false means we're looking for an exact match only. Do the same to find the value for the ingredient price. Now we can autofill down. And when we enter new dishes, we just need to autofill the formula again. In this section, we've got 3 new dishes, and each dish has multiple ingredients. What we need is one super duper formula that will calculate the correct price for a large jerk chicken. Now the challenge is we want a dynamic formula that will work when we autofill to the other rows. Before we build the formula, what do we think the correct answer should be? The portion size is large, which is the value of 3. Ingredients are chicken, rice, and peppers. The total cost for a large jerk chicken should be equal to £15. We'll start with the let function. Define the name for our first variable. We need to look up the correct value for a large size portion. Insert the VLOOKUP function. We want to look for this value here. We need to tell VLOOKUP where to look for the value of large. So the table array is where we would normally drag our mouse across our range. But seeing that we've already named our little table, we just need to type the name. And then when VLOOKUP finds a match, we want it to return the value from column 2. And then the range lookup, we only want VLOOKUP to search for an exact match, which means we need to type false. Then we need a comma, and we're back inside the let function. We can define and name another variable. The value for that is this cell here. Now, in order to work out the price for each ingredient, we'll need to split the cell each time there's a comma. Now, the beauty of the let function is we can perform that split right here inside the formula. So when we split this cell, we'll create another variable to contain the list. And then what is the value for this new variable? We can use the text split function. Now, if you want to learn more about splitting cells with formulas, check out the video link at the end. So the text split function wants to know which piece of text needs splitting. And we've already captured that inside of our variable called ingredients. And what we're saying is the different ingredients are separated or split by a comma and a space. So now we have a variable called ingredient list, which contains the list of ingredients. And then back inside the let function, we need to calculate the cost. And the total cost, we want to capture that inside of another variable. And then because we need to add up the cost for each separate ingredient, we need the sum function in here. And of course, the sum function wants to know which values to add up. And the values are stored inside of our little ingredients table, which we have named. So we'll need to use VLOOKUP again. VLOOKUP wants to know what to look for. We want to look for all the items in the ingredient list. VLOOKUP can find those items inside this named range. The values that we want to return are in column 2. We're only interested in an exact match. Close the brackets for the VLOOKUP function. Close the brackets for the sum function. Then we need a comma, and we're back inside the let function. So far, this formula has basically declared 4 different variables and assigned values to them. When we use the let function, the very last argument must be an actual calculation. And for us, we just want to take the portion size and multiply it by the total cost. Close the brackets for the let function. The expected answer is £15, and we're going to press enter in 3, 2, 1, boom. Let's work out the cost for a medium tandoori chicken. Medium is size 2, 2 times £2.50 plus 2 times £2 plus 2 times £1. The total cost should be £11. Autofill down, boom. The cost for a medium paella would be £4 for the rice, £6 for the seafood. We're looking for an answer of £10. So at the moment, we actually have 2 different formulas that exist in the same column, which isn't really a good idea. What we want to do is grab this formula and autofill up. The answers remain the same, but at least now we have a consistent formula throughout. And if the ingredients change, this super duper formula updates the results. This is also true if the price of ingredients change. We can change the portion size as well. Another thing we can do is autofill the formula all the way down so that it's ready to calculate any new dishes that we enter. Now, obviously, we don't want to see that #NA error. To address that, we can use the if error function. Go back to the first row, stick the if error function in here, and the if error function has two arguments. The value that needs evaluating is actually the entire let formula. And what does that really mean? Well, like most formulas, when the calculation is complete, it will normally return a result, or in this case, a value such as £4.50 or £3. So the if error function will evaluate the result of the let formula, and if the result is an error, right at the end, we can replace the #NA error with something else. And to be honest, if the formula result is an error, we want the cell to display a blank, nada, diddly squat. And the way we do that in Excel is with double quotation marks. Close the brackets for the if error function, re-autofill the formula. These two cells are currently blank, but we can see that the formula is still there, waiting for some data.